In today's video, we will dive into a truly spine-chilling story as it questions everything about trust and deception. It is the story of a stepfather who felt he had covered his tracks and evaded justice for years, but little did he know that the deeper the police dug, the more shocking the truth would be. Stick around till the end to see what they found, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and ring the bell for more true crime stories like this. Now, let's get into it. It was just one of those usual domestic tension cases in this quiet suburban neighborhood, but nothing out of the ordinary for the family under scrutiny. The family of three consisted of a mother, her teenage daughter, and a girl's stepfather. On the surface, the stepfather proved to be the kind of man who stepped up at the right time. Being mostly a loner, he was employed at a good company, would show up to family gatherings and even did his chores around the house. But little did he know that behind closed doors something much more sinister was brewing. Her teenage daughter had always felt uneasy around her stepdad. However, she couldn't explain why she felt so. He never did anything overtly aggressive, but he just seemed to be always looking at her, or so she felt. The odd passing comments he made were very uncomfortable, and the mere needed to be present whenever she was around made her crawl. More often than not, she would always tell to herself to just let it go and would tell herself that she was overreacting or just imagining things. Mom trusted him, so why shouldn't she? However, as she grew older, the feelings of unease only increased. Something about her stepdad just did not feel right. She was not the only one to think that either. Strange activities for odd late-night hours, hushed conversations, and unexplained trips. The neighbors heard it all. It wasn't long before the rumors started to begin to spread faster than ever. But no one could have guessed the dark secret which was to unravel itself. It was not until the little girl finally gave in and told a close friend about her worries regarding her stepdad, and that was when justice started to do its work. This friend was concerned for her safety and requested her to inform the police. The daughter hesitated. What would her mother think? Would anybody even believe her for talking against her stepfather? Yet one afternoon after school, she came to the local police station and in a nervous recitation let it be known how it had been. She spoke of her stepfather's growing obsession with her, the way he had begun to watch her every move, how he always knew exactly where she was. She had no hard evidence to support her claim, but the police took her concerns seriously enough to open a quiet investigation. The stepfather's background originally came in clean, with no criminal records, no violent history, and no reports of prior abuse. Yet something did not sit right about this story. So investigators dug deeper to find out the one thing that would stand out of place. By this time, it was when they found the first red flag. The stepdad had an alias. It wasn't the name that he used day to day, but rather on the internet. He was somebody else entirely small, obscure corners. With a pseudonym, he had created a very ominous-looking digital footprint. Chat rooms, dark web forums, and most upsetting, several communications with people in illegal online communities. Alarm bells went off for the police, who had reason to believe that this man was not who he was purporting to be. But it wasn't enough to make an arrest. They needed concrete evidence of wrongdoing, and soon they would find it. While he was at work, investigators came to the house armed with a search warrant. They said very little to the family, only that they were searching in regards to a possible crime. The officers searched the home and everything seemed as it would be until they made their way down into the basement. Whereas the whole house was unlocked, the basement was locked. That in itself wasn't too strange. Many people have their valuables in the basement. But when the police finally jimmied open the door, they did find some good deal more sinister than anyone could have ever imagined. There, tucked behind rows of storage boxes and old furniture, was a little-known hidden room. A room which the daughter or the mother also had no idea even existed. It was a small room not much bigger than a closet, but it had on it one of those heavy locks. The inside of the wall was plastered with photographs, dozens of shots of teenagers over years. Without her knowledge, shots of her everywhere at school, with her friends, even through the windows of their house. Further searches by the police revealed very distressing types of surveillance equipments, cameras, microphones, and the like. Quite obviously, the stepdad had been keeping a stealthy eye on this girl for years, watching her every move and documenting her life in some very invasive ways. The investigators could not believe their eyes. This was a story of twisted obsession right out of a psychological thriller movie. But the nightmare didn't stop there. As the detectives dug deeper into the room, they found an encrypted laptop. After a bit of effort, they finally unlocked it, and that was when the jackpot of evidence came forth to seal the stepdad's fate once and for all. Not only did the laptop hold even more disturbing photos and videos of the girl, but it brought out something even more sinister: the plans through which the stepdad would abduct her. In detailed records, he described how the girl should be slowly isolated from friends and family before being groomed into eventual captivity. He even mapped out routes and safe houses where he would take her after getting her in his clutches. It horrified the police officials, who unearthed a plot that will make a terrible nightmare of a family come terrifyingly true. But the most disturbing part was that this was not his first time. Among the documents on his laptop, police discovered an astonishing link to a missing persons case involving a girl who almost exactly resembled his stepdaughter in appearance and age. She vanished under mysterious conditions a little more than 10 years ago and was never located. That case had gone cold without any leads to follow until now. This stepfather, having lived a double life for so many years, destroyed so many lives while evading the law. He had taken on an alias, moved into a new family, and lived largely unnoticed until his obsession with his stepdaughter resurfaced, once again handing him over to the law. They knew they had to act fast, and with the amount of evidence stacked up with the police, an arrest warrant was immediately issued against the stepdad. In his confident and unsuspecting state, thinking his secret life was still under wraps, the police waited outside his workplace that evening as he left. He didn't resist as the officers cuffed him. He instead smiled a cold, unsettling grin as if he had known this day would come. But he simply didn't care. Convinced of being untouchable, he believed that everything was well and detailed. Finally, the web of lies he had been telling unraveled. Interrogation went on, and the stepdad kept his calm and seemed emotionless, even when the police confronted him with the horrifying evidence of what he had committed. He wouldn't answer most questions, but from what was reflected in his eyes, they could tell it all. This was a man who elaborately planned how to manipulate and control the people around him until his sick game was exposed. As the investigations continued to dig deeper, details after details of his twisted life was unraveled. It wasn't long before he was charged not only with the surveillance and grooming of his stepdaughter, but with the abduction and possible murder of the girl who had gone missing years ago. The incident shook every foundation of the community. Those neighbors who had otherwise thought of him to be a decent man were left dumbfounded by the revelations. The family, neighborhood, and especially the mother were devastated. She could not believe how the man whom they had entrusted the care of their girls could have so much darkness and dangerous secrets. But finally, justice was served: life in prison without parole for the stepfather, never to harm another human being. The teen girl was still deeply shaken but relieved that she had said something when she did. Had she waited any longer, her fate might have been more terrifying. But the hidden room the laptop cold case files discovered remained, begging one question: how many more victims had been there? Was there more to this story that would never be uncovered? Nobody knew what exactly would happen, but one thing was for sure: he thought he would be able to run faster than the eyes of justice. But as fate would have it for him, his bad deeds caught up before he could take on his next victim. What do you think about this case? Share with us in the comment section below. You can also go through other true crime stories on our channel, subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell to never miss an update. Stay safe and always believe in your instincts. Sometimes they are all that stands between you and an attacker. Want to know what this drunk woman did when her kids were watching? Check out this video to find out.